What's up with everybody? It's your man Mario B.
And Nicole.
We're back into some more reaction videos. Does PG mean anything anymore? That's it, man. But he just said PG. He ain't like saying PG-13 rated R. He just saying PG.
Right.
You know.
I don't know.
We mostly watch this. Pretty much watch PG-13 movies and rated R movies. That's the only
Yeah,
one we watch.
probably. I mean, the only time we're gonna watch a PG movie is if we go see
Kid.
like the Disney movie,
Yeah,
like
Disney.
Lion King, or like.
Yeah.
I think that would be PG anyway.
I kind of wonder would the movie be even PG. Do you think? Yeah, it's probably gonna be PG. I don't think Lion King gonna be PG-13.
when we saw Beauty and the Beast, I would bet that was PG.
Yeah, probably was.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or if there's any of the good cartoons like
Yeah.
Incredibles and stuff. If
Yeah.
we saw that.
But maybe some movies out there we haven't seen that it's PG and it's not really PG. Most
Right.
likely it's PG-13.
Right.
So we're gonna be pretty curious.
See what they say about it.
Before we dive right into the video, if you want to leave us any special video requests and help support the channel, check out the link to our Streamlabs. It's going to be in our description. It's going to be on our YouTube cards. It's going to be in our annotations. Check it out. Let's dive right into it.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. Gremlins, Jaws,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Beetlejuice, Watership Down,
Those
Raiders
movies.
of the Lost Ark, Frozen, Inside Out, Kung Fu Panda, the Lego Movie, Mr. Magoo. What do all these movies have in common? They're all, strangely enough, rated PG.
Gremlins is PG.
Gremlins?
At least that's what the
And
Old
Beetlejuice?
Motion Picture Association
Huh.
of America says. For those who somehow don't know, America has
Oh, I
5
forgot there's
ratings
G,
for films.
too.
G
Yeah.
for general audiences of all ages,
forgot about that
PG
one.
for parental guidance suggested, PG-13 for some material might be inappropriate for children under 13, R for restricted, anyone under 17 needs an adult, and NC-17 for you must be 17 to watch.
Dang.
Doesn't sound like
I
a
haven't
bad
really, I
system,
haven't been to
except
too
when
many
you ask
movies
the
like
question,
those.
how is
Yeah, I
this
don't have those as often.
in the same league as this?
Yeah.
Hello, did I wake you?
You have to play
It's
that.
gotten more strict, probably.
Or, the bigger question, why is this movie that obviously doesn't need parental guidance suggesting
Why isn't it G?
when it seems identical to another movie that doesn't suggest it?
Yeah.
They're even made by the same company.
Yeah, it's
To
crazy.
thus understand, it's probably best to look at the history of
I
the
was gonna
rating
say it's
system.
gotten more
Yeah.
strict.
You see, years ago, there was really just
Yeah,
only
probably
3
now more strict.
G, PG, and R.
Yeah.
And everything else was just porn.
That makes more
But
sense.
if you
Yeah.
had one of these ratings, you're not porn. And you could be shown
You're
in the
not
majority
porn.
of theaters. It mostly made sense. One was acceptable for most people, one might be a little iffy for some, and one was clearly just for adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because of this, the ratings were a little bit more relaxed than you may think of them today. Films like Planet of the Apes, The Haunting, and True Grit are all movies that no one in their right mind would call G nowadays.
No.
No.
With several swear words, off-screen violence, on-screen violence, tons of deaths, and some pretty dark, intense situations. But the idea back then was people knew there'd be some risk going in. As in, you can't shield everything from everyone.
Yeah.
That didn't always make the ratings right. Hell, all 3 of these films can have some very disturbing scenes in them.
Yeah.
But they seemed ethically sound and not overkill. Everybody of every age wants entertainment after all, and they knew there had to be some intense moments to keep you engaged. That's just kind of the gamble you take when you see a film, even if it is rated G. But as movies went on, the envelope was pushed more and more. And
Yeah.
some movies weren't really
I remember
extreme
that.
enough for an
Temple
R,
of Doom.
but
Yeah.
G didn't
Or
seem
Raiders
to
of the Lost
cover
Ark,
it
I can't
either.
remember which one's which.
When Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom came out,
Yeah,
I didn't know where to place it.
Yeah.
It was certainly more than a PG, but not
Yeah,
too
that was
much
more like
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
PG-13,
which was
a posse rated
also
R.
rating. Thus, the
tell you it would be.
PG-13 was born, a compromise that seemed
Yeah.
to fit in between the two.
So
The
they.
upside is the loopholes
Yeah.
for this rating allowed in many respects much more violence for our blood-hungry 13-year-old minds to take in, resulting in, funny enough, even more violence than a lot of R-rated films.
Yeah.
The downside is, for years, this is all people wanted to make.
Yeah.
You see, because of this rating, there was suddenly more of a distinction between G and PG.
Yeah.
G was now seen as not really general audiences anymore, but kids. And
Yeah.
eventually, when you saw that rating, you would think, oh, a kids-only movie. PG suddenly could buckle down a little bit more, and let things that could fly in, say, Planet of the Apes, The Haunting, and so forth,
Yeah.
suddenly not fly now. Because of this, the G rating was now being stigmatized as baby movies. Which, hey,
Yeah, yeah.
we're grown adults and 10 to 16-year-olds who want to be grown adults. We don't want to watch that crap. G movies suck now. A lot of kids hated them so much we started marketing R-rated movies as toys.
Terminator's back to fight evil with his mobile assault vehicle.
Talking an electronic RoboCop in 3 action-packed sizes.
It was a little messed up. Cool, but a little messed up. This meant obviously not as many people wanted to see them. Because of this, what were obviously
Turtles
G-rated
did.
movies
Yeah.
start throwing in
That
one or
turtle
two
movie
elements that are
seems more like
completely
PG-13
pointless,
though.
but
Yeah, I
help
agree.
get that
first
PG
one.
rating. They do this to show, hey, there's something in this
Casper.
movie you're not supposed to see, and that makes it a little risque, right? Remember the out-of-nowhere swear words in Casper or Iron Giant? The bitch. How about the mountain of awkward adult jokes in Dr. Seuss
Yeah.
movies?
Dirty hoe.
Dang.
Thank God your parents are there to help you understand those totally childish moments parading as adult moments. Clearly, this was made for people with a more mature mind.
Yeah.
What they miss, though, is that a lot of the great films are G-rated, and actually got away with a lot more by being clever and, dare I say it, necessary. Disney was the reigning champion of that for years. For decades and decades, they produced nothing but G-rated material.
Yeah.
By turning their limitations into their advantage, they gave us some of the most messed up stuff. A lot of it was dark, nightmarish, and
Yeah,
intense.
you think about it,
but
was.
not always in the way that would get a PG rating. Because they had to find new avenues that people wouldn't think of if they had the luxury of a PG movie. Films like Bambi or Lion King have intense scenes of family members getting killed.
Yeah.
Hell, sometimes you even see the body. But because they worked in that this is a part of life that's important and worth understanding, it
Yeah.
can still count as a G film.
Yeah.
Perception is
Aw,
everything.
Simba.
Yeah.
That
It's
all
gonna be
changed
crazy to
in
see that in the movies.
1979, though, when Disney released its first PG film, The Black Hole. It sucked. So they
I
opened a
remember
new
that.
studio where they could get away with more PG material called Touchstone. It seemed to work for a while, but
Oh,
PG
Sister
eventually
Act.
did work its way into dominating Disney films once again, and even finally moved on to PG-13 with Pirates of the Caribbean. And while I like that film fine, it does raise the question, how far away are they getting from Disney's original plan?
Yeah.
Entertainment that anyone could and should be allowed to see. Is there an R-rated film in the future?
Yeah.
More importantly, is it even needed? I remember much more great and disturbing imagery from Hunchback of Notre Dame or Snow White than anything in Lone Ranger or the other
Yeah.
pirate films. So what's even the point of trying to get the higher rating? There was, however, a point when G films were becoming popular again, and that was with the invention of Pixar Studios.
Yep.
They start off making Toy Story, a smash hit G-rated film.
Yeah, I
For
think
a
they're
long
making a- I
time,
think
every
the fourth one's
Pixar
coming out this
film
year.
was G, and every movie was trying to be just like them. The adult-talking, childlike characters with celebrity voices that talk about children's scenarios and make them intelligent and adult, all without having to resort to the gimmick of the PG rating. Then the little hit came along called Shrek.
Yeah.
And it showed that a PG animated kids film can be a little naughtier than Pixar. Suddenly Shrek was the movie everyone wanted to try and be like, even though Pixar was doing fine with its G-rated storylines. But then something terrible started to happen to Pixar. They started to suck.
Yeah.
Not suck hard, but hard enough. And as a lot of suits in Hollywood usually think, it must be because they're not hip enough. Yeah, let's throw a P in front of that G for, I don't know, an innuendo,
Yeah, I remember that
some
movie.
scary
that was
That's
imagery.
pretty cool.
Zootopia.
What's
Yeah.
that line in Frozen no kid would get?
What size?
Foot size doesn't matter.
Yeah, throw that in there to get the PG rating that shows that we're edgy. Thus, the G movie practically feels extinct again. Even though most parents don't even bother watching a Pixar or Disney film with their kid. At least, not for parental guidance.
No.
It feels like they just put it on there so if you want to complain about something stupid, they could just point and say, well, there's the PG warning.
Yeah.
Resulting in unneeded adult scenes that only last a second to prove that a movie is somehow naughty or edgy
Right,
when
versus just
really it's
leaving it
nothing
as
of the
G.
sort. Sometimes it can even work in the other direction. Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland has eyes stabbed and plucked out, heads floating in water with people climbing on them, and even a
Gross.
pretty graphic decapitation scene. It only
Dang.
got a PG rating when this is borderline
What?
R. Dark
Yeah.
Knight wanted to hit that ever marketable PG-13 rating, so they cut corners by showing nobody drinking, very
Yeah.
few swear words, and little to no sex. Which balanced out all the shit ton of super
Violence.
intense violence
Yeah.
and even gory imagery.
Yeah, because
In
you
fact,
think about it, it could
movies
be
like
a
Hunger
rated R
Games and
movie.
other
Yeah.
PG-13 films actually have more violence in them than most R-rated movies now. But as long as they don't show too much blood or
Yeah,
say
gore,
a curse
yeah.
word, it's okay to see children slaughtered?
Yeah.
This is no surprise, though, as the rating system for some time has been incredibly inconsistent and, what's the word I'm looking for? Insane. For example, the F word could be used once in PG movies for years.
Beetlejuice.
You'll notice them snuck into films like Spaceballs and Beetlejuice that got a PG rating. Now this changed recently to PG-13, and it has to be used when not talking about sex. So, when Wolverine drops the F-bomb in 2 X-Men movies, putting complete and total attention on it, but if he said it one more time or used it talking about sex, only the 17-year-old mind can understand that. South Park made a great mockery of a similar rule, declaring that if over 400 swear words are used in your film, it'll get an NC-17 rating, which most theaters won't play. How many did they use? 399. Insert slow clap here. Thank God they didn't use that one more swear, or else that would have been too much. Oh, by the way, it's totally okay that you show a gigantic clitoris and make that part of the story, but if they said one more swear word, that would have been too far. Actually, a lot of things involving sex in the rating system don't make any sense. Now, don't get me wrong, I think sex should be taught at the right time and very delicately. But by age 13, I think most kids have an understanding of what it is, as well as the responsibilities that come with it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of kids
practice those responsibilities, but they know
something about it.
Yet the number of times you show people humping can make the difference between an R and an NC-17. Things like 3 humps would get it an R, but 4 would get an NC-17. Why? Nudity is something that has to be blocked out a lot, even though you can say the F word once and show children getting slaughtered and faces getting burned up. But God help you if there's a nipple in there!
Oh my God.
Something everybody has.
Yeah.
On top of that, the way the ratings are done, appropriately titled This Film Is Not Yet Rated, they go into the details about how you can't see the people who are rating it, nor know their identity, nor reference past films that got a different rating even if your film does the exact same thing. All of that is bonkers. Bottom line, the rating system has been and continues to be incredibly outdated and even kind of meaningless. In this age of the internet where any information can be found at any time, children, teens, and adults are learning more and faster than they ever have in the past. The rating system needs to reflect that. Now, don't get me wrong, I know it's all subjective. One kid can watch the G-rated Snow White and be fine. Another can watch it and get nightmares.
Scared,
It's never going to be a perfect system, nor should it be. It's art. It should be subjective. But the rating should reflect our current environment and be more consistent. Why is Drag Me to Hell an over-the-top gore fest PG-13 but Love is Strange where a gay couple kiss rated R? Yeah, there's nothing else in this movie except a gay couple kissing and sleeping in bed, totally clothed. That was more inappropriate than this. It makes no sense in our current environment. I guess it's easy to say things have either gotten too inconsiderate or things have gotten too PC, but the fact is, they're both right. None of it makes any sense from any angle. It's a different world now, and the rating system is changing, but not in a way that reflects it. I know these aren't law and a lot of younger people can still sneak into R-rated films and such, and I also know there will always be loopholes and everything, but if the idea is to help guide people to what will culturally be accepted to the mass public, this current system doesn't really do that. This should be G, this should be R, and both should be glad that they're a G and an R. The secret to cinematic success isn't the rating. It's making a good film. Toy Story was a hit despite it being a G-rated kids film. Deadpool was a hit despite it being an R-rated superhero flick. How did they do that? What was the secret? They were good! Changes need to happen on both sides. We need a system that makes more sense, and we need studios that can stand by their movies, not their ratings. Because if someone is honestly gonna tell me a parent should be present when watching Mr. Magoo, I think everybody's trust needs to be brought into focus. Because that should obviously be an NC-17. That shouldn't be shown anywhere. I'm a nostalgia critic. I remember it, so you don't know.
Mr. Magoo?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Mr. Magoo should be...
I feel like he was joking because he didn't like the movie. Because it's like should be an NC-17. It shouldn't be shown anywhere. Because he said that no theaters play the NC-17.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen
I've
an NC-17
seen them here
movie.
and there. like, I don't know if I've seen one, but I see the rating out here and there on movies. But yeah, I don't agree. You don't really ever see that at a theater. Like, oh, it's rated NC-17. Oh, it's rated this.
Yeah.
But the other point is, honestly, because we're adults and we go see movies, how much do we really pay attention to what the rating is?
Like the Saw movies, they all rated R. None of them NC-17. It's kind of crazy. They're really
true.
gory.
They're really gory. No.
It's crazy, man. It was, and like you said, back in the 80s, I mean, they had G, PG, and rated R. So PG, honestly, was probably PG-13, really, at that time, you know.
Yeah, G is more of like your kid, friendly, everybody can watch it. PG was like your middle range, and then R was just R.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It almost makes more sense to do that versus going to all these other ratings. But
you talking back then ratings? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then like you said, they should like update it for modern times. Because kids are learning things fast on the internet. I mean, they can learn, just look up stuff.
Yeah, but even with that, some parents are going to still be really strict, and they're going to make sure their kids aren't seeing some things on the internet, and so they're going to want to make sure that they know that a G rating is actually a G rating. Well, you think about it,
some parents in this current generation, you know.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I know there's some parents who really still care about something.
Well, like I said, I think it's going to constantly change.
Yeah,
I mean, and they're going to like modernize it and maybe like, you know. So it's one of those things. Definitely enjoyed it, man. It was a lot of great information. It's a channel awesome.
Channel awesome.
Make sure to check out their channel because it's awesome. Great video, man. But we're going to go to the end of this video. If you want to support our channel, check out the links to our Streamlabs. It's going to be in our description. It's going to be in the YouTube annotation and our cards. Don't forget to subscribe.
Thumbs it up.
Turn on notifications. It's your memory to be.
And Nicole.
We're going to catch you on the next day. Awesome. Peace and love, man.